There's a little queen on the animated screen. Wait till you get a view of sweet Betty. Made of pen and ink, she can win you with a wink. Wait till you get a view of sweet Betty. Those eyes, that pretty nose, and oh, aside from this, she's got so much of those. If you want to see just a perfect little she, wait till you get a view of sweet Betty.
All ready, the big show starts off immediately. Oh, get your red wagon. Introducing Miss Jenny in her death-defying high dive into a bowl of soup. Give the little girl a big hand. Are you ready? Louder than your.
Look out! Pardon me. You dropped your handkerchief.
Thanks.
Peanuts! 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 Peanuts!
I'll have them peanuts.
Oh, I have no peanuts.
And now, Betty on the high wire.
do. What's the time and the place and the time I know. I got a bench and a park and a park and a bench and poo-poo-ba-doo. Sit down. It seems so dumb. Hurry, dear, I'm getting numb. Oh, do-do-do. Poo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo. Poo-poo-ba-doo.
I think I'll wait here and see I'm a beauty at last.
Stop!
Do you like your job? Well, I think if I were you, I'd go somewhere. You better come out with me tonight. Have some dinner.
You mean?
No! There'll be no more boop-boop-a-doop out of you!
You can feed me bread and water, or a great big bale of hay. Oh, but don't take my boo-boo-ba-doop away. You can say my voice is awful, or my songs are too risque. Oh, but don't take my boo-boo-ba-doop away.
Come on, no, I got you, my beauty.
I'll save you.
Stay out!
I'll kick him.
Take that and that! Yeah.
Say,
No, he couldn't take my boo-boo-ba-doop away.
Of the mountain. white beard and a crooked stare. Tramps along with the folks all scared. With a dickle in his eye, he passes them by. The old man of the mountain, for he wears long hair and his feet are bare. They say he's mad as a grizzly bear. His cares are none and he fears no one. The old man of the mountain, he talks with the bears when he's lonely. Sleeps with the sky for a tent, and he'll eat you up when he's hungry, and it wouldn't cost him a red cent. And he'll live as long as an old oak tree. He'll eat up fools like you and me. Oh, I often sigh and jump and cry at the old man of the mountain.
I'm going up to see that old man of the mountain. What's the matter?
The old man of the mountain.
Thank you.
The old man of the mountain. You got to hold-dee-ho.
You gotta hold-dee-ho.
You got to hide-dee-hide.
You gotta hide-dee-hide.
You got to heat-dee-heat to get along with me.
Yeah, man, how do?
You got to learn my song.
I got to learn your song.
If you do me wrong,
I'm gonna do you wrong.
you got to kick the gong to get along with me.
What you gonna do now?
Gonna do the best I can. You got to hide-dee-hide.
You got to hide-dee-hide.
You got to heat-dee-heat-dee-heat.
You got to heat-dee-heat-dee-heat.
You got to head-dee-head-dee-hey to get along with hay.
Hi.
Hey, ho! When your sweetie tells you everything will be okay, just keep it the bum and the good and the skilly big nip the bum and the bip buddy. If you feel like shouting, advertise it just this way. Skiddy to scandal and skip it the hurry up, skiddy bitty well. Skiddy to give it the bum and the skilly bitty hop, dilly billy hop, dilly billy lay. Oh, skiddy bitty well. made of pen and ink. She can win you with a wing.
Yoo-hoo!
Ain't she cute?
Boop, boop, be-doop.
Sweet Betty.
Magic mirror in my hand, who's the fairest in the land?
You're the fairest in the land. You're the fairest in the land.
I want to see my stepmama, stepmama, stepmama. I want to see my stepmama.
Her stepmama, the queen.
I've heard about your looking glass, looking glass, looking glass. I've heard about your looking glass.
What it says is so. Magic mirror in my hand, who's the fairest in the land?
You're the fairest in the land. You're the fairest in the land.
Off with her head.
Okay, queen. What a shame. Poor Betty.
Always in the way. I can never play. My own mama would never say I'm always in the way. Don't leave me here alone. I don't want to freeze. Save me, save me! Thank you. Am I the fairest in the place?
If I were you, I'd hide my face.
Folks, I'm going down to St. James Infirmary. See my baby there, she's stressed out on a long white table. She's so sweet, so calm, so fair. Let her go, oh bless her. Wherever she may be, she will search this wide world over, but she'll never find another sweet man like me. Now when I die, bury me in my straight-leg breeches, put on a box-back coat and a Stetson hat. Put a $20 gold piece on my watch chain so you can let all the boys know I died standing pat. Then give me 6 crap-shooting pallbearers. Let a chorus girl sing me a song. Put a red we go along. Folks, now that you have heard my story, say, boy, hand me over another shot of that blues. If anyone should ask you, tell 'em I got those St. James Infirmary blues.
Magic mirror in my hand now. Who's the fairest in the land?
You're the fairest in the land.
Shit, I've left everybody idle. I just realized I left everybody idle while the cartoon was over for a bit. My bad. That is entirely my bad. Let me put my headphones on so that I at least don't have to worry about that. And I don't mean plug them in. I just mean put them on. Which button is? Oh, here we go. Okay, let's see. Come and get your headphones on. Come and get your headphones on. Come and get your headphones on and start the stream. All right. Oh God, my head. Maybe the hat's too tight. It could be perhaps that my hat is too tight. All right. Okay. All right. Now I have a captive audience, so I can go ahead and attempt to recite the entirety of How the Grinch Stole Christmas from memory, all at once, without a break. As soon as I grab myself a little bit of a drink, 'cause I need a little sip. Need a little sippy. Need a little sippable. It's very interesting. So I can get these songs stuck in my head. So many. I think there's like one song. It's interesting. I think there's only one song. In the whole movie. No, the silly song doesn't count. I'm talking about like in terms of musical structure. Because you know how I love to talk about my musical structure. DreamWorks acquisition, the Netflix spinoff. So this is peak VeggieTales. Yeah, this is peak VeggieTales. You are absolutely correct, squad. This is peak VeggieTales. All right, now while I go ahead and get the correct movie showing over there. Every Who down in Whoville liked Christmas. Sorry. Boogers and snot. Every Who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot, but the Grinch who was just north of Whoville did not. The Grinch hated Christmas the whole Christmas season. Now, please don't ask why. No one quite knows the reason. It could be his head wasn't screwed on just right. It could be, perhaps, that his shoes were too tight. But I think that the most likely reason of all may have been that his heart was 2 sizes too small. But whatever the reason, his heart or his shoes, he stood there on Christmas Eve, hating the Who's, staring down from his cave with a sour Grinchy frown at the warm lighted windows below in their town. For he knew every Who down in Whoville beneath was busy now hanging a mistletoe wreath. "And they're hanging their stockings," he snarled with a sneer. "Tomorrow is Christmas. It's practically here." Then he growled with his Grinch fingers nervously drumming, "I must stop this Christmas from coming, for tomorrow I must find a way to stop Christmas from coming, for tomorrow he knew all the Who girls and boys would wake bright and early. They'd rush for their toys, and then, oh the noise, 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 noise. That's one thing he hated, the noise, 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 noise. Then the Who's young and old would sit down to a feast, and they'd feast, and they'd feast, and they'd feast, 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 feast. They'd feast on Who pudding and rare Who roast beast, which was something the Grinch couldn't stand in the least. And then they'd do something he liked least of all. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, would stand close together with Christmas bells ringing. They'd stand hand in hand, and the Who's would start singing. And they'd sing, and they'd sing, and they'd sing, 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 sing. And the more the Grinch thought of this Who Christmas sing, the more the Grinch thought, "I must stop this whole thing. Why, for 53 years I've put up with it now. I must stop this Christmas from coming, but how?" Then he got an idea, an awful idea. The Grinch got a wonderful, awful idea. "I know just what to do," the Grinch laughed in his throat, and he made a quick Sandy Claus hat and a coat, and he chuckled and clucked. "What a great Grinchy trick! With this coat and this hat, I look just like Saint Nick. All I need is a reindeer." The Grinch looked around, but since reindeer were scarce, there was none to be found. Did that stop the old Grinch? No, the Grinch simply said, "If I can't find a reindeer, I'll make one instead." So he called his dog Max, and he took some red thread, and he tied a big horn on the top of his head. Then he loaded some bags and some old empty sacks on a ramshackle sleigh, and he hitched up old Max. Then the Grinch said, "Giddy up!" and his sled started down toward the homes where the Who's lay a snooze in their town. All the windows were dark, quiet snow filled the air. All the Who's were all dreaming sweet dreams without care. When he came to the first little house on the square. "This is stop number 1, the old Grinchy Claus hissed as he climbed to the roof, empty bags in his fist. Then he slunk down the chimney, a rather tight pinch. But if Santa could do it, then so could the Grinch. He got stuck only once, for a minute or two. Then he stuck his head out of the fireplace flue, where the little Who stockings all hung in a row. "These stockings," he grinned, "are the first things to go." Then he slithered and slunk with a smile most unpleasant around the whole room. He took every present. Pop guns and bicycles, roller skates, drums, checkerboards, tricycles, popcorn and plums. Then he stuffed them in bags. Then the Grinch very nimbly stuffed all the bags, one by one, up the chimbley. Then he slunk to the icebox. He took the Who's feast. He took the Who pudding. He took the roast beast. He cleaned out that icebox as quick as a flash. Why, that Grinch even took their last can of Who hash. And he stuffed all the food up the chimney with glee. "And now," grinned the Grinch, "I will stuff up the tree." And the Grinch took the tree, and he started to shove when he heard a small sound, like the coo of a dove. He turned around fast, and he saw a small Who, little Cindy Lou Who was no more than 2. The Grinch had been caught by this tiny Who daughter, who'd got out of bed for a cup of cold water. She stared at the Grinch and said, "Sandy Claus, why? Why are you taking our Christmas tree? Why?" But you know, that old Grinch was so smart and so slick, he thought up a lie, and he thought it up quick. "Why, my sweet little tot," the fake Sandy Claus lied, "there's a light on this tree that won't light on one side, so I'm taking it home to my workshop, my dear. I'll fix it up there, then I'll bring it back here." And his fib fooled the child. Then he patted her head, and he got her a drink, then he sent her to bed. And when Cindy Lou Who went to bed with her cup, he went to the chimney and stuffed the tree up. And the last thing he took was the log for their fire. Then he went up the chimney himself, the old liar. On their walls he left nothing but hooks and some wire. And the one speck of food that he left in the house was a crumb that was even too small for a mouse. Then he did the same thing to the other Who's houses, leaving crumbs much too small for the other Who's mouses. 'Twas 1/4 dawn, all the Who's still abed, all the Who's still a snooze when he packed up his sled. Packed it up with their presents, their ribbons, their wrappings, the lights and the tinsel, the trimmings, the trappings. 3,000 feet up the side of Mount Crumpet, he rode with his load to the tip-top to dump it. Pooh-pooh to the Who's, he was grinchishly humming. They're finding out now that no Christmas is coming. They're just waking up. I know just what they'll do. Their mouths will hang open for a minute or two. Then the Who's down in Whoville will all cry boo-hoo. That's a noise, grinned the Grinch, that I simply must hear. He paused. Then the Grinch put a hand to his ear. And he did hear a sound rising over the snow. It started in low, then it started to grow. But this sound wasn't sad. Why, this sound sounded merry. It couldn't be so, but it was merry. Very. He looked down at Whoville. The Grinch popped his eyes. He shook what he saw. What is a shocking surprise? Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, was singing without any presents at all. He hadn't stopped Christmas from coming. It came. Somehow or other. It came just the same. And the Grinch, with his Grinch feet ice cold in the snow, stood puzzling and puzzling. How could it be so? It came without ribbons. It came without tags. It came without packages, boxes, or bags. He puzzled 3 hours till his puzzler was sore. Then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before. Maybe Christmas, he thought, doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas, perhaps, means a little bit more. And what happened then? Well, in Whoville, they say that the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day. And the minute his heart didn't feel quite so tight, he whizzed his load through the bright morning light. He brought back the gifts and the food. He brought back the gifts and the food for the feasts, and he himself, the Grinch, carved the roast beast. I think I got a few things wrong there. Let me go ahead and check my work. How the Grinch Stole Christmas. It's in. So I have it sitting on my. Here we go. Not pleasing. Could be a time, but it's good on the show. Could be perhaps the show, but I think that the most likely reason of all being business arms. But whatever the reason is, harder issues. He stood there on Christmas Eve, handing who's staring down from his came for the soccer Jew found the warm light of windows before on the down, for he knew every Whoville tent. Staring down from his came for the soccer Jew found the warm light of windows below in their town, for he knew every Whoville beneath was busy now hanging without. That's the reason they're hanging their stockings. He started with a snare. Tomorrow was Christmas practically hit. Then he grabbed up the screen tree. He was doing this Germany. I must find some way to stop Christmas coming. For tomorrow, he knew all the girls who girls and boys would break bread and early the first of their toys, and then all the noise of the noise. That's one thing. He hated the noise. Then the Who's young and noble sit down to a feast, and they feast. They would feast on Who pudding and rare Who roast beef, which was something the Grinch couldn't stand at the least. Then they'd do something he'd like least of all. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, would stand close together with Christmas bells ringing. They stand hand in hand, and the Who's would start singing, and they'd sing. Who's would start singing. They'd sing, and they'd sing. And the more the Grinch thought of this Who Christmas sing, the more the Grinch thought, I must stop this whole thing. Why, for 53 years I put up with it now. I must stop this Christmas from coming. But how? Then he got an awful idea. The Grinch got a wonderful, awful idea. I know just what to do. The Grinch laughed in his throat, and he made a quick Santa Claus hat and a coat. And he chuckled and clucked, but a great Grinchy joke. With this coat and this hat, I look just like Saint Nick. All I need is a reindeer. The Grinch looked around, but since reindeer are scarce, there was none to be found. Did that stop the old Grinch? No, the Grinch simply said, if I can't find a reindeer, I'll make one instead. So he called his dog Max, then he took some red thread, and he tied a big horn on the top of his head. Then he loaded some bags and some old empty sticks on a ramshackle sleigh, and he hitched up old Mac. Then the Grinch said to giddy up. Then the sleigh started down toward the homes where the Who's lay snoozing in the town. All the windows were dark red, snow filling the air. The Who's were all dreaming species. When they came to the first little house, they stopped over when the old Grinch collected. He climbed to the roof and he bags in his fist. Got a lot of ands and thens wrong. Then he slunk down. Then he slid down the chimney a rather tight pinch, but if Santa could do it, then so could the Grinch. He got stuck only once for a moment or two. Damn. Then he stuck his head. Out of the fireplace floor where the little Who stockings all hung in a row. These stockings he grinned are the first things to go. Then he slithered and slunk with a smile most unpleasant around the whole room, and he took every present: popguns and bicycles, rows of caged drums, checkerboards, tricycles, popcorn, and plums. And he stuffed them in bags. Then the Grinch very nimbly stuffed all the bags one by one up the chimney. Then he slunk to the icebox. He took the Who's feast. He took the Who pudding. He took the roast beef. He cleaned out that icebox as quick as a flash. Why, that Grinch even took their last can of Who hash. Then he stuffed all the food up the chimney with glee. And now, grinned the Grinch, I will stuff up the tree. And the Grinch grabbed the tree, and he started to shove when he heard. And the Grinch grabbed the tree, and he started to shove when he heard a small sound like the coo of a dove. He turned around fast, and he saw a small Who, little Cindy Lou Who was not more than two. The Grinch had been caught by this tiny Who daughter who'd got out of bed for a cup of cold water. She stared at the Grinch and said, Santa Claus, why are you taking our Christmas tree? Why, but you know that old Grinch was so smart and so slick. He thought up a lie and he thought it up quick. Why, my sweet little tot, the fancy Santa Claus lied. There's a light on this tree that won't light on one side, so I'm taking it home to my workshop, my dear. I'll fix it up there, then I'll bring it back here. And his fibful of the child, then he patted her head, and he got her a drink, and he sent her to bed. And when Cindy Lou Who went to bed with her cup, he went to the chimney and stuffed the tree up. Got that one. Then the last thing he took was the log for their fire. Then the last thing he took was a log for their fire. Then he went up the chimney himself, the old liar. On their walls he left nothing but hooks and some wire, and the one speck of food that he left in the house was a crumb that was even too small for a mouse. Then he did the same thing to the other Who's houses, leaving crumbs much too small for the other Who's mouses. It was 1:15 dawn. Yeah. All the Who's still abed, It was 1:15 dawn. All the Who's still abed. All the Who's still a snooze when he packed up his sled back. All right, packed it up with their presents, the ribbons, the wrappings, the tags and the tinsel, the trimmings and trappings. Tags and tinsel, not lights and tinsel. Tags and tinsel. Tags and tinsel. Okay. 3,000 feet up. Got it. Up the side of Mount Crumpet, he rode with his load to the tip-top to dump it. Pooh-pooh to the Who's, he was grinchishly humming. They're finding out now that no Christmas is coming. They're just waking up. I know just what they'll do. Their mouths will hang open for a minute or two. Okay, minute there. Then the Who's down in Whoville will all cry boo-hoo. That's a noise, grinned the Grinch, that I simply must hear. So he paused, and the Grinch put a hand to his ear, and he did hear a sound rising over the snow. It started in low, then it started to grow. But the sound wasn't sad. Why, this sound sounded merry. It couldn't be so, but it was merry, very. He stared down at Whoville. The Grinch popped his eyes. Then he shook. What he saw was a shocking surprise. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, was singing without any presents at all. He hadn't stopped Christmas from coming. It came. Somehow or other, it came just the same. And the Grinch with his Grinch feet, I scolded in the stove, stood puzzling and puzzling. How could it be so? It came without ribbons, it came without tags, it came without packages, boxes, or bags. And he puzzled 3 hours. Till his puzzler was sore. Then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before. Maybe Christmas, he thought, doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas perhaps means a little bit more. And what happened then? Well, in Whoville they say that the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes by 10. And the minute his heart didn't feel quite so tight, he whizzed with his load through the bright morning light. And he brought back the toys and the food for the feast. And he himself, the Grinch, carved the roast beast. I second-guessed myself a couple nights ago whether or not it was toys or gifts. But it's toys. It's toys. And he brought back the toys, and the toys are their toys. I want to say the because it's the food for the feast. And he brought back the toys and the food for the feast. And he himself, the Grinch, carved. Okay, so yeah. It's hard. It's difficult. But I'm almost there. I've almost got it perfectly memorized. He stared down at Whoville. The Grinch popped his eyes. Then he shook. What he saw was a shocking surprise. Yeah, like, I'm almost there. I've almost got it down pat. Where's the pixels? I wanna shrink those pixels. Let me try 70. Let me try 70 even. Oh, almost. 2, 3, 4. Oh, shit. I guess I would need to bring it down to like 60 something. 5? Let me try bringing it down to 3. Let me try bringing it down to 60 even. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And censor. Yeah. All right. All right. Looks like everything's all good. Looks like everything's all good. Looks like everything's all good. We're ready for. Okay, I think she's gonna be here very soon. Oh, Discord has an update. That's always good to keep an eye out for. Whenever Discord has an update, there's always something new. Okay, where's gameplay? Let me just conk. Okay. The boomerang bird. Hate this stupid thing. Hate this stupid boomerang bird. I don't like the boomerang bird. I don't like the stupid boomerang bird. Oop, that was way too low. I guess I got the golden egg, so I suppose that counts for something. Ugh. You'll think these birds is angry. I'm angry. I can't get them. It's too much pressure. Squonk. Ugh. This is disgusting. This is disgusting. I gotta tell you. Merry Christmas, everybody. Huh. Huh. I found another waste of time. Oh, got that piggy. Alright. This little pinky went to die. Can we just... Oh, no! Oh, thank God. I was kind of concerned that I would... Oh! Nice! You know, I should probably try... Oh, please! Yes! Okay. Complete! Alright, what's the... What the hell is that purple stuff? Oh! Is that bouncy? I want to say that's bouncy. Ooh, it is bouncy. Okay. I should use it. I should use it to my advantage. Oh, balls. Okay, that's a little too weak. Up. Boing. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Bonk. Okay. Why is that pig with the helmet flying? Okay, so I wanna bounce this guy off of the, well, don't hit the branch. I just wanna bounce him off the, I wanna bounce him off the bouncer. Oh, eat it. Bonk. Oh, balls. That wasn't great. Okay. Well, what now? Okay. There we go. That's good. Whoop. That ain't how you want to see it. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I just thought of a way that the boomerang could interact with the bouncy pad. Squonk. Thwomp. Oh, okay. That's good. Okay, that's good. Now, if I could just get this to go through the balloons, that would be a lot better. That's the struggle, isn't it? Try to get it to go through the balloons. Man. Ooh! Oh, it worked! It worked! It worked! Ah, the boomerang bounce! Boomerang bounceroo! Hey, I even got 3 stars on it. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Oh. I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Bombird. Okay. Come on. Ugh, this is frustrating. Oh. Ooh. That's the way we like it. 3 stars. Nice. Okay, I see a little box of TNT. 2 boxes of TNT, actually, I noticed. Okay. That was pretty good. There we go. Look at me do. Look at me do. I don't think that was necessarily... What do you mean the level... Oh, shit! There was a tiny little pig who survived. Son of a bitch. It's like a tiny little pig at the far end who survived. There we go. That was pretty good. That pig still survived. That pig still survived. Oh, come on. Okay, where is the death of the pig? Okay, oh. Oh, great. Now 2 pigs survived. That's... You hate to see that. Okay, trying to make sure... Oh. Okay, that's not bad, but now there's a pig over here who lived. The pig who lived. Okay. Well, that ain't great, because now that mustachioed fucker over there survived. Ay. Na, bat bird, bat bird, bat bird. Did Angry Birds ever do superhero? I know Angry Birds did Star Wars, but it almost seems like Angry Birds totally could have done superheroes at one point. Oh. Fiddlesticks, come on. Why is it always gotta be like this? Oh, ooh! There we go! Did it! There we go. And now all I need to do is... Squawk! Oh, land on the pig, land on the pig. Ugh. It seems like they could have done superheroes at one point. Okay, and then there was a pig left. And then there was a pig left. Oh, come, oh, yes! All right. Okay, that was good. That was actually not too shabby. Okay, okay. Please work! Oh, fiddlesticks. Come on, okay. Oh, can you just roll over? All right. She's here.
Sorry, I'm late.
Don't worry about it. Again, we got a very short one this evening. Skaboop, skaboop. Let me go ahead and share the screen with you.
That's all I'm gonna say.
All right. Okay. Oh, hang on. Just want to make sure everything's working. Okay, it's working. Audio capture is clean. Woo woo woo. No issues this time. Woo woo. Okay. All right. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Let's go ahead and get started officially. In 3, 2, 1. And a great big hey howdy hey to all my goofy goobers out there, and Merry Christmas on Animanic with C.Auzi+D.Fanatic.
And DF, and you know we had a very missed opportunity.
Oh?
Hi, kids, and welcome to Veggie Tales. I'm DF.
And I'm C.Auzi+D.Fanatic.
Yeah.
Well, interestingly enough, this doesn't even open with the classic theme song. Tonight we're going to be watching The Toy That Saved Christmas. Honey, you and I have very different histories with this, because the version we'll be watching tonight is the version I grew up with, which, again, it doesn't feature the theme song. Neither of them did. But mine just, like, skipped to Grandpa George telling the story to his granddaughter.
Don't get me wrong. The first time I watched it was the televised version of it, but I do have it on DVD, which gives you the option to watch either or.
That's true. That's true. When you have the home media, but like as now I feel like it's actually more interesting to talk about VeggieTales in general, because we actually haven't discussed any VeggieTales on Animatic before.
Maybe because all the Christian stuff is controversial now because of idiots.
Well,
who dare to call themselves Christians. Not that the people behind this are any better.
Well, nevertheless, I think one thing we can definitely say is that the VeggieTale is definitely held in high regard from both Christian and non-Christian families, because it's very approachable. It's very approachable. It's very silly. It's very, it's almost secular in a way, the way it just, at least in terms of its jokes. Like, it definitely has a sense of humor that appeals to a broader audience, definitely.
Yeah, like, at the very least, I can appreciate when Christians actually have a sense of humor.
Yes.
They're not afraid to laugh at themselves or the stuff that they preach.
Yep. These guys make references to things like Monty Python. So you know that they definitely have a very good comedic repertoire, at least in terms of like the comedy media that they consume. Like, cause in Josh and the Big Wall, which is basically telling the story of Joshua taking down the walls of Jericho, they have the French. They introduce the French peas as a big old Monty Python to the Holy Grail reference.
Actually, they introduced them in the Dave and the Giant Pickle.
Was Dave and the Giant Pickle first?
I believe, yeah, definitely, because the animation was different.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, Dave was first, and that was the introduction of Larry Boy. But they've brought the French peas back as a reference to Monty Python and the Holy Grail, having them up at the wall, all like,
yeah. Though maybe we should go past that because I don't think the French peas are in this.
I throw slushies in your general direction.
Yeah, we should move on because you're talking about stuff that's not in this particular special.
Yes. But yeah, the Toilet State Christmas is definitely one of my personal favorites in terms of the VeggieTales Christmas stuff, which, let's be honest, was neither their, actually, it might have been their first, but it definitely wasn't the last good Christmas special that they did.
It was
there
definitely their first,
ones.
Especially when you see the animation quality.
Oh, yes. But evidently there was actually a re-release, which is the animation we'll be watching. There was a much rougher cut, evidently. But I never grew up with that. I don't think many kids did either, because it's probably very short print, but they reprinted it. This came out in 96, but we're going to be watching what was a reprint in 98, essentially. So, anyway, without any further ado, I think it's high time we go ahead and get into this madness. Now, y'all have to be very, very, very careful with following along with the blurry image on screen because, again, no iconic theme song to match up with, so y'all might want to go ahead and get started for synchronization. Start your movie for synchronization. Get yourself about 10 seconds in to set up for synchronization. All right, and without any further ado, let's go ahead and begin in 3, 2, 1, go. I can check for subtitles. I don't know if there's subtitles on this copy I have. It's pretty nice snowflakes. I love the atmosphere this creates. It's just cold winter evening.
Yeah. And
I want to hear this story.
Older VeggieTales things.
I want to hear that story. That sounded so interesting. So wild.
I don't know why they don't have more of Annie.
I think it was like Madame Blueberry and then this, and that's about it.
She was in the movie, the first movie.
Oh, Jonah. Yeah, you're right. She was one of the kids.
I know, but Laura gets more attention.
Laura gets more attention in that because she's a part of the moral. I love the idea of a Christmas story.
Cute little voice there.
Yeah. That's true.
Great. And both my grandpas are gone.
God rest their souls. God rest my grandfather's soul.
I always love this line. I was like, they didn't get us. Yeah, they didn't get it.
Yeah, just didn't understand it. I love that play. I love that play on words, especially like if you're like me as well, like familiar with The Year Without a Santa Claus. It's like, what the hell is that supposed to mean, Grandpa George? And here's pretty much, I think, the only proper song in the story. Like, as far as like, if I analyze the musical structure, it's the only song, and it gets a reprise later.
Yeah, you know, that now that I think about it, even though it is a pretty conservative bunch around this, it feels like they actually do understand what Christmas is about.
They do. They do get it.
Yeah, those people who are like, you can't say Happy Holidays. Like, yeah.
It's such a great little number.
Steve, it's Christmas. I don't think can't believe it's Christmas. Hey, Percy.
Yep.
Percy P.
Yep.
We never find out who's in that hearse. A little baby carrot there.
Yep.
It's so cute. Only me need a baby carrot. God. Yo, they Veggie Tales and their catchy songs.
I love their excitement at everything. At least we know we won't be mowing. That's a really nice line too. And tempo up. A million hours.
Definitely a kid. That's a kid thing to say.
Yeah. And he's smacking the post to the beat. Just pass out in the
You
snow.
don't get paid enough for this, man.
Probably not. Male persons should definitely get hazard pay or something. You know, truth be told.
One delivering, you included. You know, I actually saw this before. I saw the Rack Shack and Betty.
So this is the first time you ever saw Mr. Nezzer in any role.
I thought he was a pickle for the longest time.
I think a lot of us thought he was a pickle because we think of pickles having warts, but no, he's a zucchini.
Yeah, I didn't even know until Mo and the Big Exit when they said, "Well, you're not a zucchini." I'm like, wait, he's a zucchini?
Right? Just push the button on his nose. I love when they bring in little gloves for stuff like this. It's kind of funny.
And he just has a random buzzsaw. You know, it's a good touch, like, cause you know very well that that's the most.
Yes.
That's
I love
something
this
you
line
would not
here.
tell the kids.
And that comes. I love how that comes back. It seems like a throwaway line, but I love that it comes back later.
Also,
Yes,
my first time
are.
seeing Mr. at lunch.
Well, I mean, I think both Mr. Lunt and Mr. Nezzer got their start in Rack Shack and Benny. So, yeah, they were kind of a package deal.
You know what? I used to think Mr. Lunt was a potato.
Yeah, I think a lot of... Well, I knew he wasn't quite a potato because of his contrast to the potato guy from the Forgive-O-Matic segment.
I didn't know what a gourd was, so, you know, like Jimmy and Jerry, I thought they were like pears or something. Hey, look, like 4 or 5-year-old me did not get it.
If you ever watched any of my old Farnus cartoons, you might notice that whenever I don't use Farnus's arms, his emotive acting is kind of similar to this, where it's just his neck
Baby's
and his
the only
head
one not crying.
Because Baby doesn't understand. It's like, what are they so upset about? He doesn't understand most
like
words.
that. I know babies like that. They'll see others crying. They'll be like, why are you crying? We're like, hmm?
It's such a devious plot, isn't it? He's kind of a reverse.
Yes.
He's kind of a reverse Grinch, where instead of stealing Christmas, he wants to exploit Christmas.
Yes, with weapons.
Yeah, that is true. Giving children a live weapon.
Hey, at least these Christians agree children should actually not have live weapons.
Yeah, but also pointing out, like, I think the nonsense of it is more so it's like, I think it was kind of a parody of toys that were kind of dangerous, like little airsoft guns, like you could actually hurt yourself with those things. I want to know if is there a reference with Wally P. Nezzer, because I know Nebby K. Nezzer is the Rack Shack and Benny version, but what is Wally P. Nezzer? It might be a reference to something.
I don't know. I just thought, no, maybe they just wanted to have like the same number of syllables.
I mean, that's definitely fair. Yep.
Is it just me, or is this queer coded?
It's not just you.
He was wired different.
He was just wired different.
Take that how you will.
Yeah. Also pretty simple, just having like for the distance shots, just having like flat PNGs for the. It's like you can actually see it from this angle. Flat PNGs nested in the boxes. And it's like, technically this isn't a new song, it's just a reprise of the last song. And it's also a really nice sentiment too. Right?
Yeah.
I love that. Also, for, like, very early on in their, like, human character acting, this is not too bad.
Actually, you have to animate arms.
And legs. They did avoid fingers, cleverly enough, with his little hinged hand designs. You see the quotations I'm making with my claw hands? It means I don't believe you.
You know, this is like, what, a year after Toy Story or so?
90, yeah, it would have been a year after Toy Story in 96.
Well, yeah, the studios usually like cater. What are kids into? Talking toys.
Yep. Christmas is when you get stuff. His little legs sticking out of the snowdrift.
I mean, it's a marketing thing. Like, I'm learning about the publishing world. Like, okay, kids are into pirates. We're gonna write some pirate books.
We're gonna. And the only other song in this whole video, which is, I think it's called "Oh Santa," is the song.
Okay, yeah. You know, it's about Christians having a sense of humor.
This song is hilarious.
Okay, but I'll point out.
Yeah.
You know, the whole Christian thing about forgiveness and understanding,
right?
But
and this
we'll
is it's kind of a parody of that in a way. Woohoo! It's so hard not to sing, right? Try not to sing challenge impossible.
Because it's Christmas.
I love how you can see that rapscallion behind the door.
Could that be Santa? Who I used to think was like a celery.
But we have franken-celery, but these are green onions, otherwise known as scallions.
Like 4-year-old me knew what a green onion was.
True, I didn't know what a green onion was either. But they called them scallions, so it's like, oh, so that's what vegetable they are.
Oh yes, I'm trying not to outsync it.
Right?
It's hard not to.
It really is. There's also like great lyricism, as well as animation. Like the animation on this is really fun.
Having fun, and I have.
Gotta say that the rendering on the cookies is actually really nice too. Like, don't those look friggin' delicious?
Please don't make me want cookies.
I'm sorry, but they look tasty.
Like I finished a chocolate mousse cake that was left over from my grandma's birthday lunch, and I'm still hungry.
Well, happy birthday, Grandma.
It was yesterday, but yeah.
Well, still.
Also, I'm gonna be 30 in exactly a month now.
Good lord. And I love how they're doing little rhymes in like different rhymes in like canon.
Let that be Santa.
Also, I love how like the salt or whatever they're using for snow just keeps piling up over the course of the entire segment. It just keeps piling up inside the house. The house.
Savage Norseman. Very random.
I also noticed that they're using the edge of the helmet for his like brow.
That's quilts.
Yeah.
Oy.
And that comes with a very funny rhyme later. And that's the...
Okay.
I love the posing that they're able to get across with these. That he's just a cylinder He's just a cylinder. He's like a pill shape, and they're able to get so much expression and emotion from just bending him in extreme poses. And they're able to get him to shrug with his clothes is really clever. No, I thought just sell your quilts. I don't think that I wilt. That's really funny.
Which I can barely. Now where he draws the line.
Yeah, this is really funny. I never got it as a kid, but yep, there goes the robber, again.
Yeah, the eyes.
Yeah.
It's a peach.
Yep. And down.
At least Christians can agree. The IRS, no.
Oh, the poor guy shaking the salt box. He's out of salt. Oh, wait, no, there's more salt. He was out of salt there for a second.
Boxes.
That was a very quick change for boxes.
And I've come to bring you gifts. So yeah. It's futile. Resistance is futile.
And I love the gears turning in his head. I love Bob's.
They're trying to hide.
Pondering expressions.
Yeah, but they were trying to sneak out. You noticed?
Yeah.
So much for forgiveness.
Yeah.
Well, Santa didn't get to. He's like, well, yeah, forget about the taxes. I'll take a cookie.
And the salt is finally piled up to the window.
Also, IRS agent, you're early. We don't start tax season until around January at least.
Yeah, well. Also, this is a pretty clever budget thing, just kind of having shots of the forest. Oh, and then there go the trees. I noticed that the subtitles are out of sync. Not sure why. Yeah, well. Uh-oh. Oh. Ouch.
I love this line.
Even their original...
We still have Mousetrap.
Even their original jokes are just good lines. Yowza. I only see one half of a bridge. It's a little more of a ramp than anything. And this is the shock of the season. Huh? How do you push those without hands? They have hands. You just can't see them. Yeah.
Like 5 seconds. Yeah.
Scribe, the toy was built to talk. It's not that strange. Yep. Yep. little self-congratulatory here.
You might be a little bit biased from this narrative perspective.
It's like, you were in the story? Well, I mean, he was already in the story, technically. it's very interesting that between this and 3-2-1 Penguins, which had some episodes on TV, they always skip out on, like, anything referencing prayer, but, like, they'll still reference the Bible as the good book, you know?
Oh, they said a very old book.
Yes.
They didn't even say the Bible.
Yeah, I know. Like, that's what I'm saying. They'll do very neutral phrasing on it. Or at least, no, they won't skip out on the prayers. They'll just skip out on the Dear God part when 3-2-1 Penguins was on TV. And on this case, like, they're kind of just matching the same level of, like,
Charlie Brown Christmas.
Yeah, the same level of Christian talk as Charlie Brown Christmas.
It's pretty much the same verse too.
Same verse too, yeah. That's true. Paraphrasing John 3:16. Also, I feel like some people... we were talking about how dumb some people can be. I feel like they missed that. It's like, he gave his son that anyone who believes in him shall not perish but have eternal life. Or Romans 3:23, for all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God.
I mean, he even forgave a thief who wasn't baptized at all.
Yeah, it's true. These are true facts. The kids are going insane. Anyone want to point out that the snowman earlier actually had a smaller carrot as a nose? VeggieTales has some weird things like that sometimes.
Yeah, sorry. It's just ironic that these days the so-called Christians act more like the Romans in the New Testament.
Or, in some cases, like these kids crying that they can't get a Buzzsaw Louie because their parents won't buy it for them.
That's Larry's
Thank you, Larry. It's so... I love the way they're able to convey so much emotion with no arms or legs. It's so good. They'll never show Jesus physically in VeggieTales because they didn't want to... I think it was Phil Weischer's mom who was like, do not make Jesus a vegetable. And he's like, okay, I won't.
I mean, that seems like a fair boundary.
Yeah.
And anytime we do see like a nativity thing, we don't actually see the baby.
Yep. The only instance we've ever seen Jesus was in, like, stained glass windows, but we can cover that some other time because that's kind of Christmas. That's kind of Christmas associated, but some other time. Maybe next Easter.
Yeah, we probably could.
That's also one of the really good ones. Actually, that one's a proper musical. I'd love to talk about that. I love the penguins. That's probably like they were testing their waters with penguins, and that's probably why they ended up doing 3-2-1 Penguins. Because like, hey, we've animated penguins before. Let's just make a whole series around it.
Like floppy.
Flop, flipper, flop. I do love these.
I think that guy scared me when I was little. Maybe it was the music.
It's intimidating. It's intimidating.
Like, who thought I'd ever be scared of a penguin?
He's black and white, so he looks like a security officer. So it's like inspiration from Wallace and Gromit. That makes way too much sense. That penguin is also very intimidating.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Television. I love the higher frame rate to give that TV vibe. That's really clever, you know? It's like a subtle little thing, but I didn't comment on it earlier, but they did do it earlier. So baby just sliding in there. But the higher frame rate on the television is a really nice differentiation. Just couldn't see it there, but like, I think we get it. And there are some VeggieTales that are animated at that frame rate. Particularly older ones. It is.
It's a Louis.
Yep. And I love how the music here is just Noel. That's really nice. Yep. Look again. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Yours.
I love that facial expression. Like whenever they give him those angry eyebrows. Okay, but what about next year? You're setting way too high standards for yourself, Junior.
Also, the stomping penguins kind of spooked me as a kid.
March,
I mean, look
march,
at that.
march. It's like fucking.
It's reminiscent of that Piglet's Big Game Huffalump animation.
Or like
you
fucking,
know what I mean?
Or like fucking Star Wars, like just marching down.
I didn't watch them as much, so that was the best I could come up with. People know the Piglet's Big Game thing and the Heffalumps.
It's like, now wait a minute. Anybody else figure that that was supposed to be the North Pole? Like, I can't believe I'm just making that connection. Or maybe I've always made that connection, but it's just been a long time since I watched this. And they got him on the bobsled. Well, now that's biting, like really legitimately. It's a good line from the villain.
That line,
you think they really
is actually
care?
kind of real right now.
God.
They really don't care.
Toy company executives be like,
Berg.
thank you, Larry.
Oh God, the way his eyes.
Yeah.
Sleep, Bill.
This is like the second time in a fictional, in a fiction within fiction context, like the VeggieTales characters are actors and stuff like this, but the second time in one of these things that he's tried to kill these kids.
Yeah. He's a scrap villain.
He is very murder happy.
At least in the earlier days.
Yeah.
I think he really mellowed out as...
Yeah, over time.
Mellowed out. He became more like a...
Whoa.
Kind of grump or something
Just
like
a bit
that.
of a bit of a grunt, a Scrooge, if you will.
No, even mellower than Scrooge, though.
I suppose. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Uh-oh. Because we're not mean. Also,
Oh, man.
I wanna imagine right now, because Laura gave him like a little teddy bear. It's like one of the kids probably just gave him their teddy bear, which is kind of sweet if you think about it like that.
Now,
Yep.
if only this worked
Whoa.
in real life.
Yeah.
Only you could get rid of
Mazzer.
money grubbing, murdering tyrants by just giving them a teddy bear.
Right?
Now, in this case, it probably just feeds their ego.
Red alert, everybody! Red alert! The boss is gone as a suicide mission. We gotta save his ass. Whoop! Yep. Then he got a wonderful, awful idea. This is a good line.
Everyone who's got hands, start tying.
I also want to point out that Larry's facial expression with his mouth was kind of a Rankin Bass facial expression, like the, you know. You know the one I'm talking about. That's
But you're kind of wasting our time by telling me this.
all right.
Just saying.
Whoop. Here we go. Round and round she goes. Where she stops. Right about there. Oh. His eyes widen. And that gate is gone. Whoa. Little snow, little snow particles. Just in the simple cartoon aesthetic. It works really well. I'd say that some of these was like, ah, what is that? I love how nervous that penguin looks. It's always so goofy. And that would become a clip that would be used in a lot of the theme songs.
It's never
Like going, like that one right there. It was like going forward, they would add clips from like a lot of the previous VeggieTales videos into the theme song, because it's mostly just a bunch of clips anyway.
It would be at that. There's never
Ever,
been.
yeah. Never ever been held like. Poor guy. Well, hey, I think I see Wile E. Coyote down there. Ooh. Yeah, I got it. I think. Oh, yep, he got it. Yep. Ooh, that's a thud. Got him by the belt. Oh, God. Imagine that. I love the way his mustache moves whenever he talks. It's really great.
Bad as a effect.
That's a good line too. It's kind of sweet. Yep. Yeah. And it's very nice. And they end off with Noel again, and then of course calling back to it's calling back to the story that they were being told earlier. Fix the snowman. That's not their concern though. See, it's anyway. And also, what my brother pointed out to me is that the lyrics for "Can't Believe It's Christmas" over the credits version are actually different.
They are.
Yeah. It's like now they're singing about, instead of getting something, they're singing about, giving a gift.
It's a nice touch.
Yep. Even the line from Grandpa George at the end is, "Oh, how kindly," which is really nice. Audio and video editing, Mike Noraraki. It's a very small team. Like especially early on, very, very small team. Can't Believe It's Christmas. Grumpy Kids, which is technically the reprise of
Grumpy
Must Be More
Kids?
Christmas. Yeah. Oh, Santa.
Oh, Santa.
Written and directed by Mike Noraraki. I think a lot of Larry's silly songs were just by Mike.
I mean, he is
Larry
like
wrote
Larry and like half.
Larry wrote the silly
other half.
songs. Yeah. These guys are great.
Now, if only
So
more people learn
divinely.
from this special, right?
So divinely.
Only-
That's right.
Only more people learn from this special, but nope,
Yeah.
it went right over their heads.
Yeah, sometimes.
Sorry.
But that's not what Christmas is about.
But honestly, what a nice little Christmas special, right?
Yeah.
It's cute, a little animation that still holds up today. Like a lot of the VeggieTales animation, like still like some of the early stuff can be pretty dated in its animation, but some of the animation, like in this special, really holds up. The penguin and like the penguin and the humanoid toy acting is really good, as well as just their movements are really good. And the vegetables, they'd already had like, I mean, this was what, 96? They'd already had like a good fucking, they'd already had like 4 or 5 years like being at it, you know, just like being able to figure out how do you animate a vegetable. Yes, VeggieTales predated Toy Story. Not theatrically, of course, but still. There was a lot of CGI animation that predated Pixar. This isn't news. But yeah, it's still a lot of fun. It's still like one of my personal favorites to come back to. It's very simple, it's very cute, it's very funny.
Billy has more toys than you.
Anything you wanted to add?
Yeah, I just wish I was getting more excited for the holidays.
Yeah.
I mean, Christmas and Hanukkah begin on the same day, so maybe...
They begin on the same day this year.
Whatever
That'll be very interesting.
Yeah, yes, whatever power up there thought we could use some extra prayer power for the upcoming new year. Just saying.
It's true. Yeah, they didn't know how to animate limbs, but then they decided, well, fuck it, we're gonna teach ourselves how to animate limbs, and led to way more interesting characters and scenarios that they could pull off. And they never completely did away with the vegetables. They just decided to do other things. I think eventually we'll probably like actually, I think as a double feature at some point, we should do the first 3-2-1 Penguins next to the last 3-2-1 Penguins to show like...
Which would be interesting, because I actually never saw any of them.
Oh, yeah. But I want to put them side by side because it shows like how much they improve from like their humanoid acting from like their first full thing to their last at least their last DVD of it, their last VHS DVD of it, because then they would go on to do several episodes as a television series. But anyway, as for this though, it's great. The songs, like, they're really good. Like, you know, I don't think any of the guys who did the music on this were like, you know, necessarily like trained in it. They just had a sense for what was fun in the songs that they liked. And these guys, they liked Monty Python. They liked Disney. I mean, Mr. Nezer, as I think I've mentioned on off occasions, his design, his voice, and his jazzy villain song were all influenced by Oogie Boogie. So like they had their frame of reference for like what they liked and thus what they emulated was really good stuff. And they're good. They're good. They're really, really good at it. The bunny song is still super catchy. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, at least the earlier specials feel less preachy than some of the later ones.
That is true. I think we could go through. I think we could go through a timeline of where VeggieTales dropped off. And it's gonna be, but the thing is, it's gonna be different for different people. Whereas, like, where some will acknowledge, oh yeah, some of these ones after this one are still good, but this one particularly is not one of my favorites. You know, that sort of thing. That being said, though, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up and put it to bed for this week. It's a very short one, but you know, I plan on it being a short one because, you know, just want to keep this one very simple. It's like, animation's really fun. It definitely had an impact on me growing up. Like, I grew up with freaking all the VeggieTales. Yes. But next week, honey, I don't want to alarm you, but I think we're gonna be trudging through fog thick as peanut butter.
What? Okay, that whatever line that was, it was lost on me.
Okay. That was, yep. I tried. But yeah, until next time, here on the island of Misfit Toys.
Oh, okay, now I get it. Not the most memorable line.
Yeah. Just fog's thick as peanut butter. You mean pea soup. You eat what you like, and I'll eat what I like. Anyway, thanks y'all so much for joining us on this, incredibly healthy adventure. I don't know, it's a bunch of vegetables. And if you're viewing this after the fact, thanks for watching. Until next time, remember to take care, stay safe, and be kind in all that you do. Good night, everybody!
Night.
Can't believe it's Christmas. You're finally getting something.